Good morning, tribe. It's 28 May, Memorial Day 2018, and we are strolling through the garden, being amazed by the fact that we have germination in all of the plots that we put down, and looking very much forward to these plants doing well and feeding my family. I have half a dozen subjects on my mind that we may or may not talk about this morning on our morning bird walk. I've said it 50 times already, but look at that germination on store-bought pinto beans. I can't believe it. I've never bought pintos before to plant. I've bought lots of them for storage. Look at that. The bed next to it is corn. Look at those pintos, man. They're just having a blast. Those came out of the bulk pinto bin at the grocery store. This is a Starbucks cup. I don't buy stuff from Starbucks. Somebody gave this to my wife, I think. And for what its intended purposes, it's a very good cup. I could care less about their high dollar coffee and their bull crap politics, modern idealism, beta male propaganda, but keeps my coffee warm, which is what I want it to do. So, something that's been tickling the back of my brain pan as I've been out here trying to make something out of nothing here. You know, and just to be completely clear, when I say something out of nothing here, this place is a monstrous blessing. This is not raw land. I don't know. I say I don't know. I would think that I could not walk onto raw land with my family and my situation right now and make something happen. If it was my only option, I'd do it. But it saves me a lot of time and effort to be able to come into union with a place like this that has running water, sewer, septic in this case, electricity, 2 homes, 8 bedrooms and 5 bathrooms. I mean, that's insane. That's insane. A shop, a barn, right? A air quote road put in. Granted, it's better than a dirt road. Not much better, but it's better than a dirt road. 3 wells already. So somebody did a lot of work to this place before we ever got here. And I believe that there was an active stewardship there by them through the Father to have this place ready for us to get here. So I do a disservice to that when I say making something out of nothing here, because there's a lot here already, a lot more than what a lot of people start with. Most people, or at least a lot of people, start with just raw land, and this is not that. There's a good bit of that here, but there's a phenomenal amount of infrastructure for what we paid for it. So, anyway, when I look around this piece of land, and all the work that I've been doing here to get this garden in and get everything moved in, get all the stuff here, get all the people settled here, get some some kind of livestock going. And it doesn't seem like much, but just establishing a pasture management protocol and making sure everybody in the family's on the same page so they can quit mowing the hay that I'm trying to grow. That's a big deal, right? The more of it grows out of the ground, the less of it I got to have in winter to feed ruminants. So, point is, these are the good old days. 20 years from now, 40 years from now, 50 years from now, Yah willing, if I'm blessed with that much time with my family here on earth, these will be the good old days. And right now, it may not seem like it. I mean, I see the blessing in it right now. Part of, bird walking. Okay. I think one of my giftings is perspective. The macro micro thing, the right here in the present, and the big picture all around the right now. And for whatever reason, like I said, my second strongest personality attribute is context. My number one strongest is action. So when you give me context that informs the action that I need to take, dude, I'm unstoppable, right? But I have perspective over a lot of things. I think a lot more than not just other people of my own age, but people in general seem to lack. And one of the things that I've become acutely aware of is these are the good old days. One day, Yah willing, I will be an old man. And these will be the things that we sit back and talk about and remember. And I've also been thinking quite a bit about temporal legacy. I can't take any of this with me when I go, and I don't want to. This is not our home. We were not built for this physical life. I'm not entirely sure why we have this physical life, other than maybe it's only because, maybe the only way to do the spiritual work that you need to do is on the temporal plane. I don't know. And that's some metaphysics for you. But none of this goes with me when I go. When I go home to meet my maker, this stays. And I'm okay with that. Because hopefully my grandchildren and great-grandchildren will be plowing this same piece of land. They'll say this was great-granddaddy's freedom rifle or whatever, right? How cute. It shot bullets, not lasers. Aw, that's so cute, right? And these pines will be twice as tall as they are now, maybe. Who knows? But these are the good old days. And so with that perspective, I want you in your life, compare, contrast, push, pull. Yes, you need to be busy. You need to be getting ready for whatever it is that's coming, because it's coming. And it's not just me saying that. There are tens of thousands of voices imploring the general population to please be prepared because something is coming. I don't think that's a coincidence, and I don't think that was something that one man or one woman started and everybody else just jumped on that bandwagon. I think the Father's tapping people on the shoulder and saying, get ready, I'm gonna need you. And while you're fully engaged in the doing of that, you need to be able to step outside of the immediate micro and look at the macro and appreciate these are the good old days. These are the fat times. This will be what we talk about in the future. So put some thought to that. What does your temporal legacy look like? Are you leaving behind a wake of bullcrap? Or are you doing your best to be a blessing to everybody you meet? What will your grandchildren say about you? Okay. Related to, but not directly next to that, Ecclesiastes. Man, I can't, here lately, I can't avoid that book. I just keep coming right back to it. Vanity. It's all vanities. Grasping at the wind. Toiling under the sun in vain. You know, Solomon, David's son, King David's son. The wisest man that ever lived, allegedly. Paraphrase that book. Dude did everything. Conquered this temporal world to the best of his ability. And by and large, seems to have been the best at everything, right? Had multiple women, built multiple castles, planted, fields upon fields, and, high priest, did all of it. And it's like, and what does it profit a man? What do I have to show for this? Ultimately, it's all vanity. I'm just propping myself up. And he comes to the conclusion that his time would have been better spent in service to the Lord, to Yahweh, rather than in service to himself. Therein lies the rub. Somewhere there's a line between the spiritual world and the temporal world. And I don't know if it's a physical line or a metaphorical line, or somewhere there's a division between the two. And we find ourselves as flesh and blood bodies here standing on this earth that the Father made for us. Macro, micro, right? And the micro, here we are. Need to do the best we can here on this earth. And the macro, vanity, doesn't matter. Right? Or does it? You make the argument that it does. I've said many a time, little tiny victories in the micro create huge wins in the macro. So maybe your little tiny spiritual victories in the micro here in the temporal world add up to a big spiritual win in the macro. I don't know. I'm not Solomon. I don't know. I do know this. The number one way to be prepared for the end of the world as we know it, Teotawaki, SHTF, and all that other bull crap, all the labels and nomenclature that people like to throw at this preparedness industry, which really, when you boil it down, it's simple living and self-sustainment. The number one way to excel in that, as with anything else, is to get out of your own damn way and let God run your life. So you need to submit yourself before your Creator, repent for your sins. You need to invite Yeshua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, into your life to be your Lord and Master. And then after you do that, you need to the best of your understanding and to the best of your ability as a broken human being, keep His commandments and get better every day at that. Be better tomorrow than you are today. Be better today than you were yesterday at that. If you do that, I think you will, number one, gain a lot of peace. Number two, you will gain a lot of power. Number three, you will gain a lot of perspective. I think those things are vital for surviving the temporal world just on a daily basis. But in the long term, none of us are getting out of here alive. You know, and the happiest day, I told my wife the other day, I said, I don't think I've ever told you this. You know, the day I met her had been the happiest day of my life. And then, you know, when you see your children born, and my two older kids were from my wife's first marriage. I love them. They are mine. Not by blood. That doesn't matter. They're mine. And 1,000-man army couldn't take them from me. And woe unto thee that tries, because they're mine. But my youngest, when you see a child born, that became the happiest day of my life. And then, after our church imploded, see, my wife and I have similar yet different life stories about our previous interactions with the church, how we were raised and our theology and the whole nine. And our church imploded. And I was upset about that for a lot of reasons. The biggest reason was she wasn't there yet. She had not yet come to believe in Yeshua. And then this place exploded. And immediately, like, she was so bitter. She doesn't make friends easily. Neither do I. And our family, our extended church family, was gone. Exploded. And we keep in touch with a handful of people. But it was gone. Overnight, gone. And she was pissed. And so was I. And I'm like, she was angry. I'm like praying. I'm like, God, you got to do something. You got to do something. Help me with this. And so Squid invited us. He invited us to we went to church with Squid. He found another church. And he invited us to church. And we politely declined. And he invited us again. And again. And again. And on the third invite, I committed. Yes, we'll go. And by the fifth invite, I was like, all right, yeah, we will really go. And we went. And I remember my wife sitting next to me. And the pastor was like, look, he gave his message, and he capped his message, as he should have, in my opinion. If you are not a believer in Christ, I want you to just go ahead and say these words with me. And the sound of my wife sitting next to me, praying those words, was the most beautiful thing. And that was the happiest day of my life. Because I knew that, all right, we're on the path to eternity now. I'll have her with me when I go. So, of course, statistically, I'll probably go before she does. But I think that's all a function of the work that the Father has for us here on earth. So, that was an incredible day for me. The pinnacle of my short life so far. And I've done a lot of stuff. So, I've had a lot of experiences. And that one takes the cake. So, and then you get into Revelation 12:17. The remnant will be those that have a testimony of Jesus Christ, Yeshua HaMashiach, and keep his commandments. Not a few of them. Not the ones that feel good. All of them to the best of their ability. So if you've got fire insurance, if Jesus Christ is your Lord and Savior, bless you, brother. Bless you, sister. Keep his commandments. That is your next step. You can try it on. Some people dive in with both feet. Some people go a little bit at a time. We dove in with both feet in conviction, and we piecemealed in practice. I remember Harmony was like, no bacon, no sausage, not swine. What am I supposed to eat for breakfast? Babe, I don't know. She was raised in the South. About 60% of all meals include swine. She's from the Carolinas originally, Charlotte. And so it took us 6 months or so to just really get that down. I was day one, but to bring everybody else in the family along with me to where unequivocally we don't do this anymore, it took 6 months or so. And then, even here lately, I've been really bad. I've been alternately really good and really bad with Shabbat. Well, we've just come to the conclusion and the conviction that we need to be really good at it all the time. Not some of the time, all the time. So, bird walking all over the place. Point is, you want to be prepared for the end of the world. What happens if the world ends after you leave this temporal plane and you get up there into the spiritual world and you're not right with your Creator? Right? That's the macro. But here in the micro, you have no idea. Like, literally no idea. The magic, the wonders that Yahweh can do in your life. And man, when you are with like-minded people of an accord, magic's not even the word. It makes splitting the Red Sea wide open. Like, dude, and yeah, I get it. Absolutely. I completely understand how that's possible. I also think Moses, that dude deserves a lot of credit. If it was me with 600,000 men and women and children wandering through the wilderness, every one of them pissing and moaning the whole time, and all right, listen, y'all, act right. I'm going to go up in this mountain and go talk to the Father. Just hang out, enjoy the Sabbath. Don't act like a fool. I'll be back. No wonder he broke those tablets. I would have broke those tablets over somebody's head when I came down off the mountain. I get it. I understand why they went forth with swords and killed 3,000 men. I get it. I probably would have taken out 3,000 with my bare hands. Like that guy, I'm sure you've heard the term patience of a saint. Dude. Get out of my ear, bug. Yeah, Moshe. That man deserves a lot of credit. That's proof right there of things that you can do that are far beyond your temporal ability when you are of an accord with the Father. Moving on, what else shall we talk about? I have gotten, couple hundred different little pieces of input about videos that I should do, and some of them I absolutely agree with, some of them not so much. I had somebody tell me that I need to do a video on field tactics, shoot, move, communicate. I can. Do I need to? I don't see the value in doing something that somebody else, 1,000 somebody else's, have already done and done to good effect already. I mean, I could do a video on that. I don't have the time. And I have I don't want to say a limited ammo budget, but I need to be wise in the rounds that I expend. And when I train with a purpose. I don't have the money to go blow a couple hundred rounds for the sake of doing a YouTube video. I don't make any money from YouTube, and I kind of like it that way. Just had a brother and his family over yesterday for our Shavuot Take 1, a week late, but we're trying. That's another story for another time. In fact, I talked about it in another video, so you go figure that out. And I don't remember what video it was. I don't remember what it's called. I don't know. But he was talking yesterday about, wow, man, your channel's really growing. Yes, it is. Well, what are you going to do? What do you mean, what am I going to do? Well, are you going to monetize it? Are you going to get a Patreon? Are you going to... Man, I have no idea. Monetize to what effect? To what effect? I don't want your money. I'm not doing this because I'm trying to figure out what to say to you so that you'll give me your money. And Patreon? I support people on Patreon. They do far better work than I do. They provide real value. Real value. I don't see myself as somebody that provides real value. And I'm not fishing for comments saying, oh, T, really, you are. I feel like it's almost like... You ever seen those little "What would Jesus do" bracelets? I've told people before, what would Jesus do? Grabbing people by the neck and throwing them out of the temple and flipping tables over is not out of the realm of possibilities. It's not all just, oh, brother, I love you. Love the sin, or, love the sinner, hate the sin. No, sometimes you got to throw a sinner out the door by their neck, right? So, I feel like if I was to do that, it would be akin to selling pigeons on a table out front of the temple. Some of y'all get that reference. Some of y'all will be like, what in the hell is he talking about? How can he talk about the temple and then say the word hell? Because I don't have a guilty conscience. I don't feel bad about it. That's how. Because I'm not pretending to be a Christian. I'm not soft. I don't smell like a delicate flower. And I really try not to police my thoughts. I police my words. It's extremely humbling to have a couple thousand people paying attention to the things that I have to say. I had a brother write me and tell me, he said, one of the things that me and my son have started doing is before he goes to bed, we'll lay in his bed and watch your videos. That hits me right there. And I wrote him back and I said, I will do my best to police my words. It's one thing to not say bad words around my kids. I don't want to say bad words around anybody's kids. And it is arguable that maybe this isn't the best channel for child-friendly content. Yeah, but there's a lot of concepts here that I think children should know and should be taught. And the sooner you teach it to them, I think the less trouble they're going to have later in life. So, trying to watch my words in that regard. Let's see, what else have y'all talked to me about? There is land for sale around me. Nobody's coming to this piece of land and putting up a tent. We're not going to do the straightway model where, we're going to get a dozen families on this piece of land and everybody saves up to buy another piece of land. I think that's a great model, but it's not one that I'm willing to entertain because I don't have the bandwidth. And frankly, I don't know y'all that well. And I don't want to have to come home to Miss Harmony being out of 357 rounds because she had to shoot a whole bunch of people. So we're not doing that. But there is land for sale around me. I have been meeting with a handful of people to gauge their character, their intent, and their interest. And if I deem fit, pass on information that would be of use to them to have them relocate from where they are to where they want to be, which for some reason is near where I am. That boggles my mind. From a humility aspect, I don't get it. And I guess we're going to put a bow on with this, and then I'm going to go back up to the house and get one more cup of coffee and then start my day. I've said it over and over and over and over again. I'm not special. I'm just a man holding an iPhone sideways, walking around on a piece of land that he prayed for 3 years. And that the Father delivered. Buddy of mine, he and I have a little inside joke that the reason our Powerball tickets haven't hit yet is because we still think it'd be a good idea to have beer wenches. Because I can't guarantee if I didn't have $100 million sitting in the bank that I wouldn't hire somebody dressed up in lederhosen to walk around with liter mugs full of Hefeweizen, and I could just say, "Give me another beer, wench." So there's some of my broken humanness shining through. And yeah, I've talked before. I don't play the Powerball like regularly, but it is a wicked indulgence of mine. Once every couple of months, I buy a ticket. And obviously, I've never won. I'm not special. I'm not super holy. I'm not super strong. I mean, physical strength, yeah, that's just the way I'm built. I ain't a ballerina, and I'm built for lifting heavy things. But I'm not super strong in my constitution, in my spirituality, in, mentally, emotionally. I'm normal. I work a regular job, regular kind of job. Drive a 20-year-old pickup truck. I'm raising 3 kids that I wonder about daily. What's their life going to be like when they grow up? Will I have enough money put aside for if they need seed money when they come of age to go out into the world, that I can assist them with that? Not that I had that, but it would have been great when I was 17 with a business plan. Somebody said, "I have some money put aside. Show me your business plan. Let's talk." Right? Trying to raise my kids in the fear of the Lord. Trying to lead my family, my wife and my kids, grandma, my extended family, my friends, my brothers and my sisters. I'm just a normal guy. I'm not special. And I want that to resonate with y'all. Because there's no magic tricks here. There's no slick editing. There's no filters. There's no... I don't come to you guys with the same bullcrap smile plastered on my face every video that I do. Because there's a lot of preparedness channels like that. I'm not over tactical or ultra tactical. I don't pretend to be something that I'm not. And if I can do this in my brokenness, with my 6 bad discs, my torn rotator cuff, right? My questionable knees, my tense hip flexors, my 60, 70, 80-hour work weeks, and hundreds of miles in commuting each week, and baby in diapers, and my bills, and my stress, and my worry, and my uncertainties. If I can do this, you're unstoppable. And finally, let's tie this bow up. I have a mag. I have a tribe. And they've been a big blessing. I've been very blessed to be able to, by and large, reach out to people when I needed help and have them help me. And I've done my best to respond in kind when they need help. But right now, it's me and my wife out here. We've had help from friends, getting going. And we've, fed meals and paid for gas and a little bit of pocket change as we can to help ease the burden of people coming from Texas to Oklahoma to help. We've been blessed by people doing that. But this place is not swarming with eager, able bodies. It will be. But it's not right now. So if you don't have a tribe yet, action begets action. Go do. All I've done with this channel, really, is document the process of me doing. And y'all have just swarmed to it. But I don't want you to live your life vicariously through me. I don't want to entertain you. I want to inspire and motivate you and inform you to the best of my ability. Don't watch these videos and then stop and do nothing. Watch these videos, throw your phone across the room, and go outside and do something. That's what I want out of this. And you may need to be a tribe of one until the Father brings you one more, then 2 more, then 4 more, 8 more, 16 more, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512. All right. Moore's Law. You may need to be a tribe of one until such a time as the Father sees fit to grow your tribe. And that's okay. And you need to be okay with it. He's going to do what he's going to do. All you got to do is show up and swing the axe. I love you guys. I hope this video finds you blessed. And we'll talk again soon. Happy Memorial Day. It's extremely cliche to say that freedom isn't free, but it's also extremely true. So, throw up a prayer for our fallen brothers and sisters today. And when you're drinking your Miller Lite, standing next to the barbecue grill, just have a little bit of perspective on how we all got here in the first place. And the sacrifice that it took to be able to maintain this society, this experiment in freedom that we call America. So, if I think too long about fallen brothers, I'll get a little choked up. We're not going to go there. So, shalom.